Hello all, today we are doing Chapter 8 study guide, so make sure you are following along. Make sure that you put everything that is typed or written on this page, and if you want to pause this at any time to slow things down or write things down, please do that. Okay, so question 1 says, what is a statistical question? We need to remember what a statistical question is. I should move this over. A statistical question, I knew it was going to go off the page. A statistical question is a question with more than one answer. Oh, I didn't know I could move it like that. That's good to know. A statistical question is a question with more than one answer. Okay, so we want to ask ourselves which one of these questions, when we are asking them to a group of people, has more than one answer. Okay, so how many students are in your school? Let's just say our school has 1,200 students. That's one answer, so that is not it. On what day in July is Independence Day? I had a few students that did not know when Independence Day was. It is July 4th. But assuming that everybody knows the specific day, it would only be one answer. How many televisions do families in your neighborhood own? Again, if we ask this to a group of people, we want to see how many answers. Is it just one answer for everybody, or is it all different answers? So for this particular question, some families may have one television, some families may have 4, some families may have none, okay? So this one is going to have multiple answers. So our answer here is C, but let's double check with D. What is the height of your classroom door? Assuming we're all talking about the same classroom door, that height is going to be the same for everybody. Okay, number 2 said which is not a statistical question. Okay, so we are looking for the question with just one answer, because remember, a statistical question has more than one answer. So A has, how many siblings do students in your class have? So if I ask the class, how many siblings do you have? Some people may say 1 sibling, some people may say none, some people may say 15. So all of the answers are going to be different, so that is a statistical question. We are looking for which one is not a statistical question in this question. How far from the office is your classroom, math classroom? Okay, let's say it's 15 feet. It's not from my room, but let's pretend it is. Okay, then everybody would have the same answer for that. So that is that is not a statistical question. But let's keep going just to double check. What flavor ice cream do the Beta Club members prefer? Some may like chocolate, some may like strawberry, some may like vanilla. So all different types. So that would be a statistical question. And how far do teachers at your school drive to work? Well, I personally drive 30 minutes to work. I know some teachers live around the corner, so they may only drive 5 minutes to work. So that is also a statistical question. Okay, the sum of all values of a data set divided by the total number of data values is the mean. Okay, when we add them up and divide, that's the mean. Add and divide. The middle, that's our key word, the middle data value, when values are ordered from least to greatest, is called the median. Remember, median is the middle of the road, so median is the middle of our data set, but you have to order them from least to greatest. The difference, this is also a key word, the difference between the greatest and least is the range. Biggest minus the smallest. And they didn't put this one on here, but we need to remember that mode is the one that occurs the most. So if your test has something about mode, remember it's the one that occurs the most often. It's not the biggest, it's the one that occurs the most often. Sorry, occurs, that should be a C. Okay. We are using this data for 6 through 9. So what I would start by doing is ordering these from least to greatest. One, 2, 3, 5, and 10. And then I would double check to make sure that you have all of your numbers. So I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'm going to count up here to make sure I have all the 12 of those numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I have everything. The first question says, what is the mean? That means you need to add all of these numbers and divide by how many numbers there are, which is 12. So 0 plus 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13, plus 4 is 17, plus 4 is 21, plus 5 is 26, plus 10 is 36. So now we have 36, and we are dividing that by 12 because there are 12 numbers total. 36 divided by 12 is 3. 3 times 12 is 36, and when we subtract, we get 0. So our answer is C. Okay, and then it says, what is the median of the data set? Remember, the median is the middle, so we want to check off at either end until we get to the one in the middle. There's an even number of numbers in this problem, so we are going to have 2 numbers in the middle, and that is 2 and 3. We cannot have 2 medians, though, so what we need to do is add them up and divide by 2. So now we have 5 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract and we get 1. So you can bring up that remainder and your divisor follows. Or you could have put a decimal and annexed a 0 and brought it down. Either way, it'll be 2.5, which is B. The mode of the data set is the one that is written the most often, which is the 4. And the range is the biggest minus the smallest, so 10 minus 0. 10 minus 0 is 0. Oh, sorry, it's 10. Which is D. Okay, before I go through and find the median, the mode, and the range of this, I'm going to rewrite all these dots as numbers. So we have 2 zeros, we have 3 ones, we have 3 twos, we have 1 3, 2 4s, 1 6, 2 7s, and an 8. And then it wants us to find the median of the data. So again, I'm going to check on either end until I get to the number in the middle. Okay, I'm going to double check by counting the numbers on each side to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 is my median. Mode of the data is the one that occurs the most. In this case, it would be 1 and 2. And yes, you can have more than one number be your mode, or you can also have no mode. If they all had 3 dots in each column, then we would put no mode. And then the range is biggest minus smallest. So 8 minus 0 is 8, so C. Use the box plot below to help for our data. What are the first and third quartiles? Remember, this is our first quartile, Q1, and this is our third quartile, Q3. So 6 and 18. The only one that has 6 and 18 is A, but we can go on and also find what they ask for is your IQR, which is Q3 minus Q1. That is your IQR. Okay, so in this case, it would be 18 minus 6, which is 12. So 12 would be your IQR here. What percent of the data is less than 18%? I'm going to zoom in on this. so it'll be easier to see. Each one of these sections represents 25% of your data. Okay, so each of those colors represents 25% of your data. Okay, so if we wanted from 18 and less than 18, that would be 25, 50, and then 75, which is less than 18%. So 75%. 25% plus 25% plus 25% is 75%. So our answer for 14 is D. Okay, and then 15 says, which of the following is a true statement? The median is 12. Here's our median. It's always that line in the middle of your box plot. Notice it is in between 9 and 12, so it is not 12. The mean is 12. You can never find the mean in a box plot, so that is definitely not it. The range is 24. Remember, range is biggest minus smallest, so our biggest is 27 minus our smallest is 3. And 27 minus 3 is 24. So that is C. Okay, and then our IQR is 24. So remember we found our IQR by doing Q3 minus Q1, which is 18 minus 6, which is 12. So that is not true. Our IQR is not 24. Okay, and then 16 says, Kiana and her friends collected pledges for a local walkathon. They recorded the number of pledges that they received in a frequency table. How many walkers received more than 39 pledges? So more than 39, so this is from 30 to 39, so we want more than 39. So all of these, we need to find the frequency. So we are just adding those numbers together. So 7 plus 4 plus 1, and that gives us 12. Which is D. The histogram shows the scores on a recent science test. Which of the following statements are true about the data? Only 2 students scored less than 71 on the test. So this group would be the less than 71, which is 4. So that says only 2 students, so that's not true. More than half the students scored 81 or better. What I would do is count in each of the categories. So we have 12 here. We have 16 here, and we have 8 here. So 81 or better would be these 2 categories, which would be 16 plus 8, which is 24. Okay, and it says more than half the students. The other half, well, not the other half, but the rest of it would have been 16. So 24 is definitely more than 16, so that is true. But let's keep going just to make sure. More students scored between 90 and 100 on the test than scored between 71 and 80. So 91 and 100 would have been 8. 71 and 80 would have been 12. So that's not true. And the last one says there were 12 students who scored an 80 on the test. There are 12 students in this category, but the range is from 71 to 80. It doesn't say just 80. It's 71 to 80. So we aren't guaranteed that all 12 of those students scored exactly an 80 on the test. So our answer choice is B. How many students scored higher than 70? So what we're going to do here is count those categories that are higher than 70. So it would be this one, and this one. So that's 12, 16, and 8. 12 and 8 makes 20, plus 16 is 36. So that would be D. This would be B. Okay, so number 19 says, which value has an absolute deviation of 5 from the mean? First things first, we need to find the mean. So I'm going to do that on this page. I'm going to figure out how to get rid of this. Okay, so these are all of my numbers. To find the mean, I'm first going to add them all together. So 26 plus 12. we have 14. So 38. Not 3. That would be a 6. So that's 12 plus 3 is 15. 1 and 3 makes 4, plus 6 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So 115, and then we have to divide that by 5 to find the mean. So we add up all the numbers and divide by how many numbers you have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is why we are dividing by 5. 5 cannot go into 1, but it goes into 11 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract and we get 1. Bring our 5 down. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. And subtract and we get 0. So our mean equals 23. That's important here. Okay, to find the absolute deviation, the mean absolute deviation, you first need to know the mean. So when we add them up and divide by how many we have, that is our mean. So the mean, again, is 23. This says 5 from the mean. So that means 5 above and 5 below. So we're going to add 5 to it, but also take 5 away from it. 23 plus 5 gives us 28. 23 minus 5 gives us 18. So we want to know which one of these is 5 from the mean. That would be 28 because there is no 18 on here. So D would be correct. Okay, and the last question says, the ages of 10 people who worked at a pizza shop are shown in the dot plot. Which measure of center is most appropriate to describe the data? Well, notice we have an outlier here. Okay, remember an outlier is a number that is really big or really small in reference or in comparison to the rest of our data. And that is going to skew our results in some of these areas, okay? It's going to skew our results in our range. So that's not going to be it. Sorry, I didn't mean to circle that. And it's going to skew our results in our mean. Our median, if there's only one outlier, will probably not change a whole lot, and our mode, of course, will not be affected by an outside number. Okay, so in either one of these, I believe A or C would be a good answer, but because of what we're talking about, the ages of people who are working in the pizza shop, I believe that our best answer would be C. So I will take either A or C, but I would choose my best answer as being C, the median. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow.